At the end of this month, Niagara's dispatch service, just like all regions across the province, must be updated to what's being called Next Gen 911. Andrea DeJong is the Deputy Fire Chief in St. Catharines. Andrea, this move has been mandated by the federal government.
Yeah, the CRTC has mandated that changeover. It must take place by March 4th, 2025.
We usually think of the CRTC as mandating television and radio, Canadian Radio, Television, and Telecommunications
right.
Commission, and that's where this comes in.
100%.
What are their demands?
So we have to be off of the legacy lines and onto the new NG lines by that date.
What is the difference between the legacy and the NG?
So NG brings into place the ability to text, the ability to send video, and for our comms people on our end, it's the phone is over the computer as opposed to an actual handset.
So it's similar to a VoIP kind of system?
Sort of, yeah. Let's call it a super enhanced VoIP, yes.
Why is this so important?
The current lines and the ability and the information that we need, on any given fire, we're getting video in almost before our dispatchers are getting the calls.
Oh, really?
They're coming in like essentially at the same time. So the ability to get this information ahead of time, or to receive information with the new generation tend to text more than they pick up a phone. So by giving those different opportunities, it just allows that communication to flow a lot faster.
So you're telling me someone picks up their cell phone, takes a video, and then sends that video to you via dialing 911?
They'll be able to, they can't right now, but that's what NG is going to do, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And that gives you an ability to pinpoint things a little bit more clearly?
It does. It will allow us to make command decisions and understand what to expect when we get there. And also if anybody needs any further backup or more manpower, more fire trucks.
You've been involved in this from the ground floor in your position with the Ontario Fire Chiefs Board.
Right.
Tell me about the development of this and what your role was in this board.
So I, on behalf of the Ontario Association of Fire Chiefs Executive, I sit on what's called an interagency panel, which is the Chiefs of Police, Chiefs of Fire, Chiefs of Paramedics, AMO, and the City of Toronto. So we've been in discussions with the province regarding this NG 911 and the development of how to roll it out, why there's a need for government funding, and really pushing and promoting to the government that we needed the funding, as the costs of NG with the technology, they're substantial. And, we need the assistance to get it moving forward, to bring everybody on board by that date.
The government stepped up with the funding for the change.
100% they did. They stepped up with $208 million early last year. And we were able to, all fire department communication center were able to apply for it, as well as police. EMS are with the Ministry of Health, so it's a little bit different, but yeah, we were all able to apply for it. So it's been very helpful.
In the Niagara region, I understand there's about 5 different dispatch systems?
So there's the EMS, there's Niagara Parks, there's Niagara Police, there's Niagara Falls, and then we dispatch, and then also Fort Erie and Welland are dispatched by Tillsonburg.
Why is that the case? Why Tillsonburg?
There was some discussion previously. They were looking to make it a regional center with EMS and police all in the same spot. That wasn't supported by the fire chiefs across the board. There was a requirement to come on to public safety radios versus analog, which are expensive. And some of the smaller municipalities felt that that timing and the cost, they weren't prepared to pay it at that point.
Will this cause any changes to the physical plant, the physical area where any of this is happening right now? Will there be amalgamation of any of it?
No, each comm center has to provide their own equipment. So in our case, we partnered from a purchasing standpoint with Niagara Police and Niagara Parks. So Niagara Parks and us are partners to Niagara Police, but Niagara Police hold the major part because of our CAD systems and the equipment, because we're on a shared radio system. They host the major site for the NG equipment, and then the other 2 sites, the Parks Police and us, both host just off sites, but still providing the same service, but dictated by us, because Niagara Parks is also a dispatch center for themselves.
So what you're saying is behind us here, you said her name is it Brienne?
It's Brienne, yeah.
So where Brienne is sitting, there will be no real physical change to what she sees?
No. So when we last year, we upgraded our CAD system to integrate it with the
CAD,
computer-aided dispatch system, which is how we take in the calls and then send the trucks out for all of our different partners. We upgraded our CAD to be more reliant, a little bit. It's a larger CAD, so it offers a lot more features, but also it aligns us with Niagara Police, allowing us to be able to share information on critical scenes and critical information about different locations.
The deadline for the change is supposed to be March 31st. Are we meeting that change?
We are well in hand to meet it. Our NG project has already kicked off. We've all received our equipment already. We've partnered with Motorola in this. That's the vendor, and we are now into weekly meetings with the project kickoff, with integration and equipment being installed over the next couple of months. Training will take place. We're expecting to go live sometime late fall.
And is there any discarding of old equipment that has to be done here as well?
Not so much in regards, so we're not replacing any significant radio equipment from that perspective. It's really attached to the CAD and into the technology side of it, so not from the larger perspective, no.
This is a really interesting time then for dispatch services.
This is probably the biggest change that since 911 came into play in 1974.
That's how long it's been.
It's been that long since
1974.
that 911 came into play. So I would say this is the biggest change, and it is substantial.
Do you think you'll see an immediate increase in the response time, or I should say a decrease in response time, I guess?
NG isn't so much about response time. It's more about having the available and the combined information and the methodology in which the calls and the information are shared. Like right now, you could text in, but it's rare. It's certainly not encouraged, but we do. It's offered at all comm centers, but just with the newer generation coming in and the enhancements in technology, this is so much better.
It's an exciting time.
It is. It is really exciting.
Thanks
it's a
for
big
talking
change.
about it. Thanks, Andrea.
Thank you for the invite.